We both do. All right. Hello.
I didn't even notice I had my mic muted. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the UDL F1 League Singapore GP round 16 of this Drivers' Championship. I am Mr. Damage as well, and I also have with me Jonathan. How is Jonathan today?
I am doing great. Thank you for asking.
Today, this is going to be an interesting race, that's for sure, here in Singapore under the lights. We all know how hard this track can be, and it's nice and tight. We've got a full grid of drivers here today, so this is going to be a very fun race to watch, I think.
Yeah, the difference between these last 2 weeks in track is incredible. We go from the fastest track on the calendar last week being Monza to arguably one of the slowest on the calendar and the longest.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a nice long race. 31 laps for
The longest
this
of the
event
season.
here. This is going to be a nice long one here. This is really going to take its toll on these drivers. As per my usual ways now, whoever crosses the line first, I will follow them on their hot lap and commentate over it. And it looks
Quite
like
a
that
few
will
drivers.
be back.
Quite a few drivers out already.
And on this track, with some of the testing that I've done for qualifying, at this track, you can, if you go onto the track as soon as it starts, you can get 3 laps in by the end of the session, but it is very, very tight. You run out of time on your final flying lap if you make it there.
This is a very large track for sure.
And it's definitely one of the hardest, that's for sure. This track is so easy to mess up any one of these corners. It's a really rhythm-heavy track, even though it's so tight and twisty. Especially this final sector, it's all about rhythm. Right here where Hefty Bag is going, these chicanes are absolute nightmare if you don't get it right.
Yes. Yes, they are.
And as he comes around the final chicane now to start gearing up for his hot lap, going to ride with Hefty Bag as he comes flying around that final corner. You have to take so much commitment through there. Opens up his DRS going into turn 1. This 1-2-3 complex is very hard to get right as his Hefty goes a little bit wide there at the apex of turn 1. Exits nice and smooth there. You don't want to touch that curb. That curb will slow you down. So you either want to go around the outside of it or miss it completely. And he takes a nice direct line to the apex through that turn 4, that flying right-hander down through the kink of turn 5 up to turn 6. One of the hardest braking zones to get right. It's so short. 4th gear through there, then shifting down into 2nd for this hairpin. And then back up through the gears once again up to 5th and downshifting down to 4th for turn in. And Hefty Bag clobbers the wall there and loses an end plate. So that's not going to be good for his qualifying session. He's going to have to come in after the end of this lap and get himself another front wing. That means I'm just going to jump on back to another driver. See, now we're watching Sniper Pig now coming towards this very tough complex. This left-hander, he gets it correct. And then down towards the hairpin complex where the Singapore Sling used to be, left into this right, to this 3rd gear right-hander, flat on through here underneath the bridge, and then really hard braking up to that hairpin, and then flying on up out of that corner, up through the gears, up to 6th gear, and banging on the limiter before it's shifting it right back down into 3rd gear for this next right-hander. You can take 2nd there, but it's just a tad slower. Now we come to one of the first chicanes at the end of the lap. This is the hardest one in my opinion. Getting the apex right and the exit is very hard. Underneath the bridge, it's very easy to hit that inside wall. It seems like Sniper Pig got it perfectly. Drew comes across the line and set the first lap time of the session. But I'm really looking for it to get beaten here by Sniper Pig as Space Hero sets a new fastest lap time. And now here comes Sniper Pig around the final quarter, and he goes a 136.179. So he puts himself up into that provisional pole for now. Breezy comes across the line, and he will be P2 for Williams. See if I can catch anybody else at the end of their lap here. It looks like Bossman is just now coming around to start his first flying lap. Lucas just started his. Dossack coming through the final few chicanes now in his nice scarlet red Ferrari. Up towards the final corner. Such a hard corner to get right. You really have to just drive it in and hope for the best. He comes across the line and he goes P4, the 138.4. We might see the biggest differential in times in qualifying here in this session.
What a track. I'm learning here as we go, not being the biggest follower of F1, and wow, it's quite a complex.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the hardest tracks on the calendar, if not the hardest. As Dahl comes across the line and sets a 137.8. Miami comes across the line and right behind him sets a 138.5. See if I can catch anybody else coming up towards this final corner. It looks like the McLaren of Get That Money and Runs coming through this final chicane now. There's a Red Bull behind him. I'm not quite sure if that Red Bull is going to finish this lap or not. Let's see what Get That Money and Run can do. He seems like he's on pretty decent pace here as he brings it into the pit lane. So it looks like he must have invalidated his lap at some point. Let's Get That Money and Run.
Oh my god,
he crashes out.
He hits the attenuator.
So he hits the pit lane wall, and out he goes. There's his car, stricken car on the right-hand side of the exit of the last corner. So that's really going to hurt quite a few drivers' exits.
Oh, and Bossman hits him.
Bossman comes around and nails him right in the side pod. So that's really tough luck for these drivers. Bossman didn't get that money and run.
He was contacted again. I'm not sure which driver that was.
I believe it was Stig. Yes, it was. Yes. Stig has also hit him. So this is a very awkward place for their cars to be. Thankfully, they're gone now, but that's really going to be unfortunate for these drivers that did get affected, especially Bossman, who came around unsighted. And once you're committed to that corner, you can't miss him, because he was right at the exit where you're supposed to be. And once you're committed, it's over.
Tough luck.
Now I'm going to be watching Pecan here coming through the first sector now. I'm going to jump around for a little bit. Let's see who else I have to watch. Miami coming up towards the final corner now. He is already P7. He drives in a little too deep. Doesn't quite turn in fast enough, and he goes quite a bit slower that lap. So it looks like that was a cooldown lap. And Lucas is coming through the final chicanes now, going towards the bridge chicane. Let's see if he can hit this right. It looks like he barely clipped that inside wall. That's not going to help him too much. Now for this final right-left chicane. And it looks like he got invalidated as he is now slowing down. He's on the hard compound tires for some reason. So either that's a glitch or he's really going for an interesting strategy. He goes into P11 on his cooldown lap.
If he can get into the top 10 with hards, that could be beneficial if he can make them last, but that's going to be
hard
tough.
Compound tires, they're so much slower than the mediums or soft, so it really isn't worth running them. They do last quite a while. They can last all the way to a soft compound stint at the very end of the race, but if it's really worth it or not, I'm not quite sure.
Maybe he is trying an alternative strategy.
He can try as much as he wants to, but he's really going to have to pick up the pace if he wants to get into the top 10 for this strategy to really pan out.
I agree.
As Glenn Coco is having some technical issues. He has no sound in the cockpit of his car. So that's very unfortunate for him. He's not going to be able to hear his car as he's trying to qualify. As Sniper Pig comes around to start another flying lap. Dives on into turn 1. These drivers, I can really tell they haven't quite experimented enough with those curves in the 1-2-3 complex. You can really ride those curves quite hard, especially in turn 2. You can basically straight line the exit up towards turn 3, and it looks like Sniper Pig was invalidated at the exit of turn 3. Just went a little bit too wide. If your left side tires barely touch the white lines around here, it will give you it will invalidate you for exceeding track limits. So it's very easy to get disqualified around this track for track limits.
I do apologize for the lack of changing camera angles. I'm not exactly sure yet where the end of the lap is, so...
If they're in a bunch of chicanes, that's where they are.
I've gotten that part.
And also, you can look up at the top right, as Honos sets a lap time of a 1:36.8, puts himself up into P3.
Luckily, I was on the right person.
Yeah, you can just, whenever you scan through, just look for Sector 3. As it looks like Breezy is in the wall. So Breezy has hit the wall and reset onto the track in the Singapore sling department. So he's going to have to come back around, get himself a new front wing, and try again.
I just got a message on our stream. CKT Gamer would like a shout out.
Hello, CKT. All right. See if I can find somebody else to ride along with. Kill the Birdman coming underneath the bridge now, up to finish his flying lap with quite a few other drivers behind him, including, I believe, Dollar Hyde right behind him, as we have yet another yellow flag in sectors 1 and 3. And Breezy is retired from the session for some reason. Looks like he decided he couldn't. Oh, there was a collision between Thunder and Breezy. Not quite sure what happened there, but Thunder now has to go into the pit lane to get a new front wing. Tough luck for Thunder. It looks like he was on a lap until that incident happened.
Been quite an eventful qualifying here. I can only imagine what the race is going to be like. Hopefully these drivers can actually keep it clean for the race.
I really hope so too, because if not, it's going to turn into Belgium 2.0, and nobody wants that.
No.
But at least everybody that finishes will get a point. Because now I'm riding here with Real Space Hero. She comes up towards the first chicane. Like I said, this is the hardest one. That wall protrudes out on the exit, so it's really, really easy to hit it if you don't get the corner correct. Have a little bit of understeer. It's easy to hit that wall. Coming through this final chicane, this one you want to make sure you get a really good exit to set yourself up well for this final corner. This corner's almost flat out. All you have to do is just go in, lift off, and get back on it. And Real Space Hero puts in a time of 137.446 to put himself up into P4 ahead of the Ferrari of Pecan, who will be really looking forward to having a good race here for his championship.
Yeah, last week was very detrimental to Pecan's championship, and this race is nearly make or break for him. It can really turn around his season or ruin it.
Yeah, this is definitely a pivotal race in his season, but he's really going to have to beat Sniper Pig here. But Sniper Pig has been practicing all week, and he is very fast around this track. He is a full 0.6 faster than everybody else so far in this qualifying session.
The Red Bulls today seem very confident with their tracks set up.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, Sniper Pig's really been practicing all week. Been talking to him all week about trying to find pace around here. And I really kind of set him a lap time to chase after. And he definitely improved quite a bit on that lap. Let's see if he can put in his best lap time here in this session. I know he's gone a lot faster than 136.1, but it's really hard to put that lap together whenever you're under pressure.
All right. Glen Coco.
See if I can
final
find
sector.
Anybody else. Yeah, here comes Glen Coco towards the finish line. Let's see what he can do. He goes a 149.6, but it was invalidated, so he will stay in P19 for now. Gonna jump over here to Pecan, who was 2.5 tenths up on his previous time. Currently in P5, but if he does gain 2.5 tenths, it will put him in P4. Let's see if he can get this hairpin correct, and it looks like he has. Barely misses that apex and goes a little bit wide. And you really want to get a good run out of there, or else you'll have a really bad one towards this corner. And he is 8 tenths up after the second sector, so it looks like his first flying lap really had some issues in it. As now he really uses a lot of that curb on turn-in. And now going into the second chicane underneath the bridge. Let's see if he can get a good third chicane. A little bit of oversteer on exit there. A little more oversteer in the middle of that chicane. Let's see if that hurt him any at all. As Hefty Bag goes up into P4 for that Racing Point F1 team. And Pecan improves by 9 tenths of a second to go 136.5 and put himself into P2. A mere 3.5 tenths away from Sniper Pig.
This is going to be a very interesting race to watch.
I can't help but agree with you on that one. This is going to be very fun.
Dilsack in Sector 3 looking to improve on his time in the Ferrari.
Somebody just improved. I don't know who. Glen Coco did. Glen Coco put himself up into P9. How loud is the crunch whenever I eat those chips, by the way?
I didn't really notice. I was not paying attention.
Okay, good. Dilsack goes a 136.9, but it was invalidated, so that's tough for him. He will have to complete yet another lap, but he showed pretty promising pace there. That would be top 5 if he could just get that lap in without getting invalidated.
Oh, okay, and there is contact in Sector 3 between Lucas and Eat the Green Bean, aka Duck.
Lucas was severely hampered by that, it seems.
Lucas was actually the one that backed out of it and made the contact originally.
Space comes across the line to start another flying lap. Gonna jump over here to Sniper Pig, who is a 10th up on his time after the first sector. See if he can improve on that 36-1, maybe dip down into the 35s, be the first driver into those 35s. Quite a few of these drivers can get there, but it doesn't seem like they're quite getting in those clean laps that they can in time trial and in practice.
Sniper Pig, you can see the confidence when he's like setting up for these apexes.
That was a beautiful hairpin as well. He's really on a torture lap time here. As there's a stricken Haas, it looked like, waiting for him to go by. Sniper Pig now into the third and final sector, going through these chicanes. It's so easy to lose a lot of time in these chicanes. Got a really good exit there and barely tapped the wall. Hopefully that doesn't mess him up too. Really good apex on this first one, as well as the second corner in that chicane. So now comes up towards this final chicane. Let's see if he can improve on his lap as he sweeps it on into this final corner. Let's see what he can do, and he goes a 135.8. So he does improve and go and improve his provisional pole up to a 135.8, a whole 6/10 faster than Pecan. As now Real Space Hero comes around the final corner for the final time here in qualifying, and he puts himself into P5, just barely passing Real Space Hero. Dollar High comes around the final corner and sets a better lap, but it's not quite good enough to move up any positions. Glen Coco seems to be stricken in underneath the bridge. He's really gonna want to get out of the way, as it looks like Man's coming around the final corner now, but he's not on a very competitive lap. Going to jump up to Miami now, who is coming across Glen Coco. Hopefully, yep, Glen Coco is out of the way, so Miami won't have to worry about that. Let's see if Miami can put himself into the top 10 here, and he does not. And Glen Coco peels off into the pits, so everybody is done, and Sniper Pig gets a commanding pole position here with a 135.894, a whole 6/10 faster than Pecan in P2 and Honos in P3. 2/10 behind Pecan. And like I said before, this track is going to be one of those tracks that you're really going to see a huge disparity in lap time in qualifying.
Yeah,
hopefully
anything can go wrong.
Hopefully, it's not like this for the race. As here is your qualifying order and your grid order for this race. Sniper Pig, pole position, but a 135.894 for Red Bull. Another pole position for him. A great reign of terror he's putting on the league now. Pecan in P2 for Ferrari. Honos, P3 for Renault. Breezy in P4 for Williams. Real Space Hero in that second Red Bull puts it into P5. Hefty Back gets Racing Point up into the top 10. He goes P6. Dollar High, P7 for Williams. The Stig with a 5-place grid penalty goes into P8 for Alfa Romeo. Dilsack, P9 for Ferrari. Glen Coco, P10 for Haas. Miami and Kill the Birdman, P11 and P12 for Toro Rosso. Man, P13 for Mercedes. Lucas, P14 for Haas. And then after that, I really don't know. Because I didn't scroll.
I'm very impressed with the showing from Sniper Pig throughout this entire season. He's proved time and time again that he is extremely quick and always has the confidence at every track. And no matter how many times we've gone through races, he never seems to fault.
Yep. Right now in this UDL F1 league, with only 6 rounds left, he's almost got this title wrapped up. Oh.
What a quali. Hopefully we don't have that many incidents in the race.
Oh, gonna go on over here to time trial and kind of look at the times that these drivers were setting. Jump into the leaderboard here. The global world record for this track is a 133.0 set by Louis Welch. Very tough time to get. As you can see at the bottom there, my best time is a 135.1. That was my best valid time. As we go over here to the friend leaderboard, Sniper Pig, the best of the drivers in this race, followed by Hefty Bag right behind him. Pecan, his best lap so far in his best lap. Jesus Christ, his best lap so far in time trial is a 136.1, so he was around the relative pace of what he had before, but I was really looking for Hefty Bag and Sniper Pig to really set some a lot faster times than that, especially Hefty Bag. I was really disappointed by his qualifying session there.
Yeah, in qualifying, anything can happen. You can get stuck behind somebody, have a small incident. The pressure is on a lot more in qualifying rather than when you're just practicing, so. That being said, who is your pick for the top 3 this race?
In all honesty, Sniper Pig for the win. I'm gonna pick Real Space Hero for P3 because I know he's consistent, and that's what you need around here. And Hefty Bag for P2.
Interesting.
I know I did that podium all out of whack, but I think Hefty Bag has what it takes to be on the podium here.
I'm gonna agree with the first two. My third would be Pecan if he can keep his consistency.
If he can keep it together, then definitely look for him to be.
I think this is the race where he's got the most pressure, so he feels like he needs to get this race done, and in most cases that is correct. So
oh yeah,
I think he's gonna show pretty well today what he's made of.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab a Gatorade and get ready for this race.
Okay. Alright, joining up on the race lobby. Gotta reform the grid, and then we should be getting underway pretty soon.
Alright. Waiting for one more driver here. Not quite sure who it is that we're waiting for, but we're waiting for them. Let me go through. Let's see, McLaren. We're waiting for... Who was the other McLaren driver this week? Thunder. That's who we're waiting for. We're waiting for Thunder.
Hopefully they can make their way in here pretty soon.
Yeah, hopefully. We should be starting here with a full grid, so, and there is Thunder. And everybody is readying up here soon, so hopefully we can get this race lobby going.
Yep.
To all you guys watching now, I'm going to start streaming Modern Warfare as well, so I'll probably do that after this race, so make sure you check in if you want to see some Call of Duty content.
One thing that should be brought up, we have a new driver that will be entering the UDL here soon. His name is Intersport, and in our previous league, he is the champion of the IndyCar season and the World Endurance Championship. So he could be a threat for the podium in some of these closing races.
Absolutely, and he'll really be throwing a wrench in this title battle between Pecan and Sniper Pig. See if he can steal some points away from either one of those drivers, as well as any of the other drivers that might join in at the end of this season.
For sure. I just thought I'd bring that up because I know he's watching.
See, whose POV is he watching is the real question.
Probably yours?
Ooh. Hello, Intersport. We're gonna place bets in Vegas for John or Damage. See who gets this bet. See who gets all the money. Or he just won't say anything and leave us hanging.
We want to know what stream you're on, Intersport. We know you're there.
I've got 50 on him. I've got 50 on him joining your stream just to say he's there. Oh, here we go. The race lobby is now loading up.
And he's on my stream.
Go figure. Let's see. My viewer count went down to 9 from 10, and yours went up to 4. Woo! Good job, Intersport. Way to make me some money. All right, you owe me $50, brother.
I ain't paid you anything. Thank you, Intersport, for trying to lose me $50.
All right, now the drivers are picking their setups and their strategies for this race. I'm really excited to see what we got here for strategy. Remember, the top 10 have to start on the soft compound tires that they qualified on. But all the rest of these drivers can pick anything else. We'll have 10 drivers on an alternate strategy here today. Let's see if those drivers can get an advantage and really take advantage of how long the tire life is on the medium and hard compound tires. As the first driver is now readied up, so that means the session start countdown will start. We have 20 seconds left until the start of the formation lap. As we sit here and stare at these front wings. Beautiful array of front wings, by the way.
Yeah, at least they look good.
I just noticed a glitch. So Green Bean's tires turned to... Wait. Why are there so many people on the wrong tire here? There are so many drivers that are not on the soft compound tire. Hello? Is it saying the same thing for you?
I'm currently looking.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, I only...
6 out of the top 10 is not on the soft compound tire.
I only see 5 people on soft compound tire out of the entire grid.
This is interesting, to say the least. Definitely going to have some words with quite a few people after this race.
This is an interesting development.
The real question is, will any of these drivers starting on the wrong tire get any sort of an advantage? I would assume so, because they can run their soft compound stint at the end of the race on low fuel and really take a huge advantage.
We just got a word in the chat on your stream. It's not letting them choose softs.
That's an interesting glitch, and probably should be accounted for by restarting the lobby of some sort. So, I mean, that would be my take, would be restart everything if there's a glitch like this.
I would have to agree. I don't know whether it's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if they're going to do it or if they're just going to race it out and hope for the best. But, I mean, it's kind of unfortunate for the drivers that chose the soft compound tires. They're going to be at a huge disadvantage.
Other people that are going to be at a disadvantage include Pecan, Real Space Hero, Dollar, Dig, and Dillsack being on the hards.
As not quite sure what we're going to do here, but the lights are coming on, so 5 lights, and the lights are out, and away we go for the Singapore GP. Looks like Sniper Pig got a really good start on those soft compound tires. Pecan is in jeopardy of that P2. He goes really wide and cuts the second corner to stay ahead of Breezy. They have a bit of contact further back, I'm pretty sure. There's a huge gaggle of cars there, 3 to 4 wide. Look at this fanning out. There's some carbon fiber all over the place. There's quite a few drivers trying to fit on this little tiny track. Sheesh. As Breezy now gets past Pecan on that straight with the help of ERS, and it looks like Pecan holds it around the outside. We have Dollar Hyde. Dollar Hyde went straight at that corner, and he went straight into the runoff area. Pecan and Breezy once again side by side through this middle sector. Breezy's really going to want to get past Pecan as quick as possible so he can set his eyes onto Sniper Pig out front. So have a little bit more racing on further back for P5. We've got a few cars battling it out. It's Stig, Real Space Hero, and Hefty Bag. Hefty Bag seems to have a little bit of front wing damage on the right front. So really tough for him.
Sniper Pig just walking away from everyone off the start.
As they battle behind him, he's just going to pull a huge gap to everybody else.
This is not a track you want to battle at the start.
Yeah, you definitely want to be single file and get as many laps down as possible. As Hefty Bag peels off into the pit lane to get his front wing changed. Really huge disappointment for him, as it doesn't look like he got any sort of a penalty. It's Breezy and Pecan swap positions there. Breezy goes up into P2, and now he'll be setting his sights onto Sniper Pig, but it'll be very hard for him to catch Sniper Pig on the soft compound tires.
Interesting camera view for my stream there for a minute. On the rear wing of a McLaren.
That is a pretty interesting view.
Sorry about that.
As Man has retired from the session, looks like he accidentally put on intermediate compound tires, so he just decided that his race would be over. As Fiji as well is in the pit lane to fix some damage, so quite a few drivers had some front wing damage at the start of this race. Not very surprising, seeing as how it's Singapore.
Definitely an expensive race.
We do still have an elongated yellow flag in Sector 1. Not quite sure why. As the top three are really starting to pull a... Top four, I mean, are really starting to pull a gap on the rest of the field. Glenn Coco had a great first lap, and he's all the way up into P5 from P10 on the grid on those soft compound tires. Bangs it off the wall a little bit, but thankfully for him, it was just a tire that hit and not the front wing.
You got to take care of your front ring at this track. Any little damage with how high speed the corners are and how close the walls are, any little bit of damage is detrimental.
As Glenn Coco and Stig are side by side, they're 3 wide coming up into this final corner. Stig really ran Glenn Coco out of real estate there, and Glenn Coco will drop down 2 positions because of it. And it looks like Space might be trying to get the overtake on Stig here. Coming into this next sequence of corners, he's going to go for the undercut. Is it going to work? It looks like it has with DRS open. Now he'll be able to fly on by and jump up into P5 from P7. Stig will stay in P6, and oh, never mind. Glenn Coco with a nice move up the inside, a nice late braking attempt there to get himself back up into P6. The Stig looks like he is really getting his elbows out here, trying to defend for his P7 now. He's side by side, and it looks like Kill the Birdman might have overdone it into that corner a little bit, so he runs a bit wide. And Hefty Bag once again is in the pit lane for some reason.
Not a great race for Hefty this right now.
As Duck gets a 5-second grid penalty for corner cutting and gaining an advantage. As a lot of these drivers are calling for a reset, but not very many people are actually going to be noticing. As now there's a virtual safety car on the track for somebody. Not quite sure who. This boss man takes advantage and goes into the pits.
Not seeing anyone damaged.
A lot of the drivers are saying they're going to leave in the UDL chat, but it doesn't look like anything's happening. Somebody really needs to take initiative here and start the process. Pecan puts in the chat restart, and it looks like we are going to restart as he has left. So we will have a session restart here after 3 laps. Sniper Pig is going to be a little disappointed with that because he was 6.5 seconds ahead. But on the other hand, Hefty Bag's going to be very happy that we're resetting because he got a terrible first lap.
Yes.
Now it's time to wait a little bit. Sorry for the inconvenience. The game glitched out.
Yep. Happens. It happens sometimes, and we just got to deal with it.
As as Hefty Bag tells us the reason that he had a bad start. He said he wasn't even holding the clutch at the start because he thought we were restarting.
That is very unlucky.
But it's very lucky for him that we're restarting. On a side note, Takis are the best thing since sliced bread. How are your colors so vibrant, bro?
That is called HDR.
I don't even know where the options are. There they are. Settings.
Do you have
graphics.
PS4 Pro and 4K TV?
No.
That's the reason.
Gotcha. Okay, so my stream looks like, terrible compared to everybody else's, but, it's okay. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and join up on this new race lobby.
So, I just got a message from one of our drivers for the WEC saying thank you for the restart because now he can watch. Did the invite go out? Yes.
If you get in, send me another invite, because mine didn't work.
Alright. Doing it now. Say, I don't remember what it's called. It's one that I have at work quite often.
What color is it?
A light blue.
Oh yeah, the light blue's okay. I'm drinking the cool blue right now, the dark one. The light blue, I get different ones all the time. I just get the 12 packs or the 10 packs or whatever they are.
For this week, I have the cool blue and the light blue for work for the week, so I know how.
I like white cherry a lot as well. White cherry's pretty good.
White cherry messes with me because every time I drink it, I'm looking at it as white and it tastes like red, and it just confuses me.
I will say the white cherry Powerade is better than the white cherry Gatorade.
I've not tried that. One thing I would like to say is, after this league race, I will happily be returning to one of my favorite shows.
You're right, I know how to party Intersport. And look at that, he commented that on my stream. So guess whose stream he's actually watching, fool?
I know!
See? I knew it, $50 right there. Thanks, Intersport.
You're not getting my money.
I would be eating sunflower seeds, but I can't talk with sunflower seeds in my mouth. Sunflower seeds are bae. And if you don't think the same, nope. He said he has both of them on. I don't know about that. Now you might after you went to his. I'm sure mine's a little bit more predominant though, buddy.
I swap back and forth constantly to see the comments on both. So.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. Definitely ready for season 4 of Rick and Morty to start tonight. Been too long.
We have a little bit of strong conversations going on in the chat right now.
I noticed.
Some drivers not really happy with how they were raced there in that first start, so maybe we can get a little bit of a cleaner act together here. Or maybe it can be even worse and we can have a huge pileup. You never know.
I don't think we're going to have 2 restarts, so there's a huge pileup, we're going to have an issue.
I mean, if any race was a restart-worthy race, it would have been It would have been at Spa. We
Yeah,
didn't have one at Spa, so we're not going to have one here.
Spa was pretty brutal for these drivers.
Hmm. You could really tell that not a lot of them did long run practice, and it showed.
Yes.
There's quite a bit of strong feelings going around right now. Couple of drivers are nice and hot tempered. Don't know
Not
quite what that's gonna.
not the way we want to start the second race.
This might end up being a NASCAR style race.
Let's hope not. These cars are definitely not meant to withstand that.
Oh. Alright, I'm ready for this to start.
Yes.
Wow.
Sorry for this inconvenience.
We need to get racing so this argument will stop. It's got some Minecraft Hunger Games to play. Not really, but that's shout out to the good old days. Alright, everybody, hurry up and ready up. Let's go. Get the lobby started.
So, just like to say something that is very cool. There is currently a car at SEMA that they took a Mazda RX-7 and put the front end of a Mazda Furai on it.
Oh boy.
Looks pretty beautiful. I don't know about you, but I am ready to race. Well, watch some races.
Yeah, me too. Ready to watch something go down here. Here we go. Take two. Action.
All right. Welcome everyone to the
Welcome everybody to part 2 of the Singapore GP. This will be a 35 lap race since we've already done 4. Let's see if these guys can actually figure out how to get on the soft compound tires this time.
Yeah, I don't really want to be handing out a lot of penalties.
I don't either. But, you know, do what you gotta do. As we have a car in the pit lane for some reason. Oh, there he goes.
Okay.
So the bug I saw earlier is that on the left you can see Man's pit in Mercedes, and you can see these got soft compound tires sitting there. But whatever the sidewall of the tires show is what they're on. Like, see how it just changed to hards?
I noticed that.
So we can see one driver's strategy before it comes up. Woo! If we could free cam, we could see everybody's. Imagine having a free cam for this. Oh, that'd be beautiful. Codemasters, if you're watching this, I want royalty for the idea. As the second formation lap is starting, and Gon is still on the hard compound tires. Everybody else in the top 10, except for Stig, seem to get it right and go on softs, but Pecan and Stig are still on the hard compound tires, so this is definitely interesting, to say the least.
This is gonna be dramatic, to say the least.
For sure. It looks like we might actually have to hand out a couple of penalties, because all the drivers were told how to make sure they had soft compound tires, and all but two figured it out.
Yes.
As beyond the top 10, the only driver on the soft compound tires is Miami. Everybody else went on to the mediums or the hards. So they're going to be looking to really get to have a good final stint on those soft compound tires, as well as Pecan and Stig on those hards. Whatever they do, they better make sure they're 5 seconds ahead of whoever they beat. Or 10, or whatever. What's the penalty? 15, 10, 5?
I do not remember. I have it written down somewhere, so.
Whatever the time penalty is, they're going to have to beat whoever's behind them by that much. This Man has left the session for some reason. So now they're coming up to the final corner at the end of their formation lap. See if we can have a little bit different of a turn one here, as there's quite a few drivers on that are now stuck on the formation. They got disqualified from the formation lap and are stuck on the grid. So definitely not fun to see that.
All right.
Now all the drivers are in their grid slots. The light will be coming on here soon. 2 lights, 3, 4, 5. The lights are away we go for the Singapore GP Part 2. It's off to a really good start once again. Breezy pulls to the inside. Honos to the outside of Pecan, but Pecan once again goes very wide at turn 1 and through turn 2. Got quite a bit of battling here towards the back of the field to see if everybody gets through. It looks like they do. Hefty Bag up into P5 from his original starting position, as all the drivers are now making their way to turn 4, as we have a car sideways in front of the field.
Two
it looks
cars.
like both of the Toro Rossos and the Renault of Bossman caught up in this first lap crash.
Very
Terrible
unlucky.
luck. Gonna start getting a little more settled into this race. Sniper Pig once again is held on to that P1. But this time Pecan isn't battling Breezy for P2, so he's not quite going to be able to pull as far away as he did last time. Wow.
That was
interesting.
That was a horrible start for the two Toro Rossos and the Renault of Bossman. Not the way they wanted to start this race.
As now, Cypher is starting to pull away a bit, but everybody else seems to be training up behind Econ on the hard compound sides. This is the back it. Quite a bit of time there. Honos is going to gain him, but Honos has Breezy right behind him for company, as well as Hefty right behind Breezy. It looks like Breezy had a really bad exit. Hefty's going to be looking to the inside, going to turn one. Get the kick, not quite close enough.
We have a message from the driver of Pecan asking if he should pit for softs.
Yes. To mitigate from getting a penalty, yes. As Hefty Bag got a little bit of oversteer, he had a little bit of contact and lost a couple of positions. Now he's fighting back for P6 from Little Face Hero. Looks like he'll take it. And oh no, he goes straight into the wall. Straight to the wall trying to get a move done. Here in turn 4, I believe. And his was all finished. You get time penalty for collision with Thunder. So, huge disappointment there. Back. He got off to a great start compared to last. That definitely deteriorated. Breezy goes very wide in the pin. He has the front wing as well as Duck, but Duck takes 6 on those medium compound tires. There's the yellow flag in sector 2 and 3. Not quite sure who that's for. It's for the McLaren of Imran Thunder. He has now left the session. So tough luck for him. And for that McLaren team as Glen Coco gets to overtake Dunn on Dillsack, who seems to have a broken front wing. Glen Coco does. Quite a few drivers now peel off into the pit lane to get a new front wing. Breezy will pull into the pit lane. I'm surprised not many more drivers peeled in because there's quite a bit of time lost to having a broken front wing.
I would like to apologize right now for if my stream is not changing camera views very often. I'm also trying to be a steward as well, so...
As Honos gets to overtake Dunn on Pecan for P2 in the Singapore GP. Pecan's going to fall like a rock on those hard compound tires. It's just a matter of time before Dollar High catches up to him and passes him for P3. And there's been a huge disappointment here for quite a few drivers once again. As Dollar Hyde is right on the rear diffuser of Pecan here, looking to get this P3 away from Pecan.
Pecan may be pitting here in the next couple laps. Possibly now if he has seen the message by now.
As Pecan is coming through this final few chicanes with Dollar Hyde right on his rear diffuser. So if Pecan pulls into the pit lane to mitigate his penalty, that will be a huge time loss for him. And it looks like he does not this lap. He will stay out, continue circulating. He might end up just trying to stretch it out and go for a 2-stop instead and try to make something out of this.
I'm not sure.
I do know that the soft compound tires will last around 10 laps and race fuel and pushing as hard as you can. So these drivers on these soft compound tires will be able to go 10 laps and then chuck on the mediums or the hards to make it to the end of the race. And they can extend them a little bit if they don't push very hard. But I have a feeling these drivers are really going to be pushing, trying to get every bit of position they can here in this first few laps.
Yeah.
There's Dillsack, and there's another crash once again as 3 drivers get intertangled with each other. Dillsack went for the move on Glen Coco, pushed him out a bit wide, and then Get That Money and Run was trying to avoid both of them and hit them and lost quite a bit of his front wing. He's definitely going to have to come in and get that fixed. He's got a nice plank on the right front.
The drama already in the beginning stages of this race.
Jump back up to the front here. Oh, never mind. I'm going to jump back down. Bossman gets the overtake done on Lucas, 4P10. There's quite a bit of close racing here in this midfield, so I might stay with them for a while. Bossman makes a little bit of contact with the rear diffuser of Get That Money and Run. Get That Money and Run is severely slow through the corners because of his wing damage. So he's really going to be hindering quite a lot of these drivers behind him as Bossman looks to the inside but can't quite get close enough to make a move. He's just going to have to sit behind this McLaren until the McLaren peels into the pit lane. As Real Space Hero peels off into the pit lane, forcing medium compound tires. So he must have had some wing damage of some sort or something to warrant that early of a pit stop. Quite a few drivers are now populating the pit lane with Glen Coco, Get That Money and Run, and Dulsac, all three drivers in that incident, now into the pits to get a new front wing. Breezy sets the new fastest lap of the race on his brand new set of medium compound tires. So Breezy's really going to be on a mission here to try to get as many points as possible for that Williams team.
I'd just like to let you know I'm starting to hear some lag. I think it's on my end, but just a little bit of a fair warning.
Okay. Pecan and Dollar Hyde are still engaging in battle. Dollar Hyde tried to take an overtake on Pecan, but Pecan shut the door and Dollar Hyde had to avoid him and lost quite a bit of time. Now he's over a second behind. He's really going to want to reel that in so he can get into that DRS and get back up onto that diffuser of Pecan. As now the field is already strung out quite a bit, over a 1 second gap between every position, as Sniper Pig peels into the pit lane after 4 laps on his soft tires. I'm not quite sure if he had a wing damage.
He did not look like it.
So he's going for a 2-stop, it seems. Soft, medium, medium. It's a very bold strategy call from him. He thinks he's going to have the pace to really hold on to this and be able to pass a lot of cars and bring it home. As he comes back out onto the track, NP8. It looks like he'll come out with a huge space between himself and Fiji behind. And now he's going to have to pass quite a few cars to really take advantage of putting on new tires. As we have another yellow flag as Man retires from the session. He crashed in the third sector. So that's not a very good showing from Man here. Very tough for him. It looks like he has some suspension damage in this third sector. As Drew Hughes came around and hit him. So Man's car was still sitting on the track, and Drew Yu comes around and hits him. So now Drew Yu has a little bit of front wing damage.